Alright, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so he was like, at least not at nighttime should I be traveling at night. Traveling alone with my backpack along a road where the KKK police might be traveling, or the KKK themselves, or whatever. I don't know. Well, so yeah, I didn't. I decided then that I would not be traveling. Hold on. Good. I would not be traveling with, at least in that vicinity, or out on the outskirts of Little Rock by myself at nighttime. So I decided to get a ride, or at least that was one of my first options. And what did I do? I had a little bit of money. Oh yeah, I was so broke that I couldn't get a ride. So I decided to ask my dad. My dad sent the money, and I was able to get a ride. But the problem is the first night I didn't know that. So the second night when he told me that I could get a ride, he told me and only had a little bit of time to hurry up and go and talk to the Greyhound people. When I finally talked to the Greyhound people, they told me that I needed another box for my bike, and they didn't have it. See, the first time I had to get a box for my bike, they had it in Atlanta. They had it, and so I bought it there. But the second time they told me I had to get a box for my bike, I knew it, but I couldn't. If you were thinking I should have just saved my bike, there was no space. I was very little on space. There was no way I could have brought my bike, and I just thought I could buy another box. I know they're expensive, or at least get one. Find one. But they didn't have a box at the next Greyhound. So, since they didn't have a box at the next Greyhound, I had to go to a U-Haul. Well, when I heard that I had to go to a U-Haul, in my mind, I thought they said UPS. So, I traveled 4 times the distance trying to get to the UPS rather than the U-Haul, which was less than a mile away. It was crazy. I was tired. When I got 3/4 of the way to the place, I realized that it was U-Haul that I needed to go to and not UPS. I finally arrived at U-Haul and it was closed. But, from consolation, or, one thing that should be considered is the U-Haul closed when the lady was telling me I needed a box. So either way, I was doomed to fail because it was closing right when I was finding out I needed a box. But I traveled a long way. But along the way, I found pepper something berries, and I foraged some of those. I didn't eat much, but I finally got. I left, and I realized that once again I was going to have to sleep outside a building unless I got a way out. And I couldn't get a way out still. Because, ignore that. So, I knew I had to sleep. So, I didn't have money, that's why. But, so, when I decided I had to sleep, I slept in the same place. This time I was more prepared against the mosquitoes. I wrapped my legs in clothes really, really well this time, and put my jacket over my whole body like a coat. I slept in the same place, and it wasn't that bad. It kind of sucked, but it's not as bad. Alright, so, I woke up the next morning and realized that at 6 a.m. there was a Greyhound to where I wanted to go. But, once again, it was moot because when the lady told me I needed a bus and they didn't have one, the place was closing. And the U-Haul only opened at 7:30, not at 6 a.m. when the bus left. But I've also found out that at 6:30 p.m., there was another bus. So I was pretty depressed, realizing that I had to stay there for 12, well, at the time, I woke up late anyway, but, so, for about 10 more hours. But, I got a good bit done. I met some interesting people. I went to this church. I finally found a place to eat. I went to this little church, and they gave me food. The food was cooked. I offered to help the people. I helped them a little bit, but not a lot, because I found out that I got a box from the U-Haul, and while I was talking to the people, and I had to meet a lady, because instead of me carrying the box, she offered to take the box down to the Greyhound for me. So I accepted, and she did that. So I had to meet her at the Greyhound at a certain time, so I wasn't able to help them out fully. The cook people, they got that. So what I did was I continued. I finally, at 6:30, it was a long day of sitting and waiting. I did go other places. I saw someone cut up a turtle, not a snapping turtle. That was pretty cool. And I did a public shower thing. Unless you're talking about the military, that's the first time I used a public shower. Oh no, not really. It was back when, a while back. But all right, so yeah, what else? Oh yeah, I finally caught the Greyhound. And when I caught the Greyhound, at this time, all this time I had gotten a hold of Woofers, WWOOFER Roofers, or roofing.com. That's the website, you can do it. And I got a hold of Woofers, and I finally arrived in the city adjacent to there, so that they could pick me up. And they were gracious enough to come that night when I arrived to come pick me up. They couldn't have, they shouldn't have, I thought, because the same day it was one of the guys' birthday, one of the person's birthday, and I figured they should enjoy their birthday, but they did, and it was awesome. I met them. They seemed really cool. They're great people. I went over their house, and we had a great time. I had a lot of interesting discussions. I love intelligent people. Both of them are very intelligent, interesting. We had a lot of interesting discussions about spirituality, about the universe, and what we believe is the reality, and what really is the reality. It was great. It was cool. I also was able to learn a good bit about other techniques. I was able to learn other techniques to farming and gardening, and things that I might be able to use in permaculture. And I also was able to introduce them to these concepts, new concepts about permaculture, like mulching, like mulching a lot, and a lot of other things, using the terrain to your benefit. All of it. It was pretty cool. And so yeah, those guys are great. I had a great experience over at their house. They're very welcoming. They were. Their names were Dominic and Pamela. Pretty awesome people. All right, so yeah, I had fun over there, and once again, my planning. I didn't really plan another place to go. Not in time, not in advance. I was having so much fun over there, working in the yard and talking with them and hanging out, that I was just having a ball. So the next place, I finally got a ride from another woofer there, and she just happened upon me. Like, she just happened to be visiting them when I was there, and she was going the direction that I needed to go. So she took me to Fort Smith, and in Fort Smith I spent the night. Fort Smith was a great experience. Actually, it was a horrible experience that turned out to be great. So I arrived at Fort. You know what? This will be the next episode, because it's about to die out again.